It was the red light district, early one night as a cold breeze begins to blow. An older woman shivers as she stands working her trade. She jumps as a voice next to her says, "Hello." She's been standing on this road for some time and has seen no one. She turns to the voice, and a man stands there, young and well-dressed. She says, "Hello," in response. "What is your name?" he asks. "Rose," she replies with a shiver. The man then proceeds to take off his coat and to hand it to her. Reluctantly, she puts it on. "What are you doing here?" he asks. Rose looks away, feeling somewhat uncomfortable. There was something different about this man from her normal clients. The look in his eyes was not depraved like the others. "I'm working," she responds. "What do you do for work?" he asks. She, averting her eyes, responds, "I'm a woman for hire." The man says, "I see. So you sell yourself?" She, looking down, replies, "Yes." After a moment of no reply, she cannot resist the urge to look up and sees the same look upon his face. The man then asks, "How much do you charge?" Rose replies with her hourly rate. The man then pulls out his cell phone from his pocket and begins to type for a few moments. Rose, curious, shuffles a little closer to try to see what he's doing and sees a calculator open on the screen. After a few moments, the man finished his calculations, reaches into his pocket and pulls out a check. With a pen he pulls from his breast pocket, he writes down a number on the check and hands it to her. Rose looks down at the check, and shock plays across her face as she looks at the 7-digit number on the check. She looks up with a skeptical smile to mask her shock and says, "Sure, I'll take this." The man replies, "Great. Then please follow me." She follows the man out of the red light district, and as they are walking down an adjacent street, she sees a black, stretched limousine standing on the side of the road, a chauffeur standing next to the back door. She walks with the man and prepares to walk past, when the man puts a hand on her arm to stop her. Looking over at him, she sees a slight smile on his face as she hears the voice of the chauffeur. "Welcome back, sir." The back door opens and the man motions for her to get inside. She looks back at the man and says, "I can't," feeling completely inadequate. The man replies with a smile, "Of course you can. Did not I pay?" She slides in and sits down. In front of her is a cooler filled with sodas. The man motions for her to take one. She finds her favorite brand, opens it, and takes a sip. They travel for some time in silence, Rose feeling quite too intimidated to speak. The man seeming comfortable in silence. The limousine enters the driveway and comes to a gate that opens of its own accord. She watches out of the window as she sees a great mansion and beautiful lawns appear before her. The limousine pulls to the front door and stops. The chauffeur comes out and opens the door. The man steps out of the limousine and reaches his hand to help her. She takes his arm and he walks her to the front door. The doors open as they approach, opened by a servant. As they stop and look, then step across the threshold, the man looks at her and says, "Welcome home, Rose." She, with a cynical laugh, says, "I'm just here to work." The man looks at her with a smile and says, "May I see your check?" Then Rose reaches into her purse and hands him the check. He takes it, tilts it toward her, and points at the number, and says, "I've paid, so you never have to leave." She looks at him, startled, and says, "I can't work that long." He replies with a smile, "I did not pay for your sin. I paid so you could be free from your sin, and so you would never have to sin again. I paid for you, for your new life of freedom. Jesus did not die for your sin. He died for you, and to set you free from sin, He paid the price.